Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Frank, and with me, as always, is
Albert! Hi Frank, how are you
Yes.
doing on this lovely evening?
I am doing amazing, thank you, Albert. And tonight we have a game for the viewers between Myth Odin and MCon's Darkomicron. So this is clan mythology versus mouse control.
Indeed. And, well, it's a PVT.
Indeed.
And what can you tell me about the matchup, Frank?
About the matchup in general.
Yeah?
Well, Albert, this is a good time for me to repeat that I am not, in fact, a professional caster and don't know shit about the metagame nor the matchups. So I'll have to disappoint you there.
Oh, that's very, very unfortunate.
I can, however, enthusiastically introduce the players. So, would you like me to do that?
Yeah, of course. Please
I'll start in the
introduce.
bottom left corner. The Protoss player, Darkomicron, facing Grubby later in the bracket. Of course, this doesn't spoil anything about the result of this match, I think. It is Darkomicron!
That really didn't spoil anything, you think?
I'm afraid not. Didn't it?
Okay, alright. Well, probably some people have already seen that match, so...
Yeah, no, the thing is, the results of all these matches are already on the website. Of course, don't go check it out now, because you'll be spoiled for this game. But these are all matches that didn't get the chance to get casted during the broadcast on Thursdays. So that's why we are picking them up now. But of course, they have been spoiled on the website. But of course, if you're watching these now, don't go check out the brackets, because you'll get... well, you know the result of this game. That's
Indeed. And that would be a waste, even though the game is probably still pretty good.
Indeed. Please introduce the play on the top right, Albert, before the first interaction of the game starts.
I will do this. But maybe this SCV is gonna get an interaction already. No, okay, it's gonna get... Okay, let's introduce the player in the top right. It's the Green Terran player from Team Myth. It's Odin.
Yes. Odin is actually one of the casters for the Dutch StarCraft League. He's also very enthusiastic about that, and he's helping out. I think he's casted about 1, 2, maybe 3 of the broadcasts already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very active.
And
Alright, we see Protoss going for 4 probes in 2 gases. This looks like Darko has something specific in mind, so I'm going to keep an eye on the production tab. That is, of course, in the top left corner of the screen.
Indeed. In the top left, even though some of the new interfaces have the production tab in the bottom.
Yep, and I can tell you something about that. Because during the finals, we will be playing on the Game Heart versions of the maps.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, so we'll have a custom interface with all our logo. We actually, the guy who makes the Game Heart maps actually included the Dutch StarCraft League logo in his latest update. So we have the Dutch StarCraft League logo printed on the map as we play.
Oh, that's amazing! Wow, that will be really, really, really awesome. I suppose the observers will have to be trained to use all the functionalities of the Heart interface.
They will, but it's not that hard because. So you basically have all your standard hotkeys and everything set up. The only thing that you need to learn is like the hotkey for zooming out, which you can do with the Game Heart interface to show more of the battlefield than you'd usually be able to do.
Right.
And there are some other functions, but they...
you can also like draw on
Yeah,
that.
exactly. You can actually draw. And you know, it goes as far as that when the casters are also in the game, of course. When the casters are drawing, the observer, which view actually gets streamed, can also turn on the drawings that the casters are making. So it's really something. It's really great.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, indeed.
We're gonna see some aggression, by the way. Stalker moving up, trying to hit some of these Marines. Of course, only taking shield damage himself with these Marines. As long as there's no medeffects on the field, will have permanent damage.
Indeed, this is really annoying because you really can't deal with this Stalker right now. These are not too many Marines with his Mothership Core out as well. So it's really hard. He has to wait until this Marauder gets out, but then maybe this supply depot will already be sniped. Yeah. So this is really effective harassment, actually.
Definitely. The supply depot looks like it's going to burn down unless it gets repaired, but I don't think it's going to be repaired in time.
No, I think it's going to burn down as well. And maybe even this Marauder gets sniped.
Look at the amount
that was
of damage.
Very close.
Look at the amount of that. Look at the units from Odin. They're all so like pumpkin colored right now.
Right, it's very, very red indeed. And all these... Oh, that's a great time warp!
Time warp.
Snipe a few units, that's not being possible, but he's probably gonna get this other supply depot as well. Oh, this is a big loss for Odin in the start of the
he's
game
now
already.
supply blocked.
Yeah, indeed. He's not making supply depots right now, so he really should be doing that because he can't get any other units out. This is such effective harassment with just 3 stalkers. This is great.
This is truly. You don't want 3 stalkers to be doing this much damage, and Darko now realizes that he's overstayed his welcome and pulling back. He has, in the meantime, gone for his own expansion, so it is now up to Odin to make up for this deficit that he has and do some damage. Because if you look at the income tab, he's actually quite far ahead because he has mules.
Yeah. Well, that's lucky because these mules are gonna run out in no time, and then probably he's gonna be behind. He has his command center already done already, but he doesn't have it on the low ground yet. So I think Darkomicron is gonna catch up on the income really quickly. He's making 2 factories right now and another command center.
Yeah, he's going all out with building making. What do you think he's going to be... Another command center, by the way, yeah. Do you think he's going to be using that to take a 3rd anytime soon, or is this just for extra SCV production and mulage until...
Yeah, I think probably he had too much money in the bank, and he was like, well, okay, I can make another command center and try to make it... What's wrong, Frank?
There's a 4th command center coming up.
Already? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. He's really ballsy. He's thinking like, well, if maybe I'm behind a little bit because of that harassment, maybe I should build command centers all over the place. And, you know, maybe I can get back that way. But as we can see, Darkomicron already has an observer in place, so he knows that all these command centers are going down, and that Odin is probably not moving out anytime soon, and maybe even has a small force. So,
but this force is still heavily damaged, has no stim, doesn't even have combat shield right now. So I don't think that Myth Odin will be moving out anytime soon. And of course, I think with the defense that Darkomicron has right now, he can even hold off any push that Myth Odin throws at him right now.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit hard with the Mothership Core available as well. I think it will be doable. And of course, Darkomicron, because he has his observer in such a great spot, but it's gonna get sniped by this missile turret right now, I think, if he doesn't remove it before this finishes. But he has seen that his opponent is going for tanks and not like medevacs. He doesn't have any kind of starport yet, so he can't do any drops, he can't move out with his bio without every stim taking damage. So, yeah, I think he can really feel safe, and he's actually building his 3rd Nexus as well now.
Alright, stims now being researched. Missile turrets going down all over the place. This is, of course, not just to ward off drops, but also to guard for DTs that might be coming. But, of course, Darkomicron is not going for a Dark Shrine, and instead is taking his 3rd base.
Indeed, he is. A wise decision because, well, as we can see, Odin has a 3rd base and even has a 4th base, but he hasn't used them yet. He isn't lifting them up yet. And I don't think he will be doing it. Oh, he is actually moving his 3rd command center right now to the other spot, to the 3rd location. But I don't think it's gonna be there for a while. Oh, it's actually moving it to the natural. What are his plans?
Darkomicron has 4 observers and is holding both watchtowers. Actually one of the 2, the most important one. So he has so much vision of the map that he can expand and feel very safe.
Yeah, he has observers on all the right places. He sees everything coming. I think he even gonna spot a drop if it tries to get to his base.
Yeah, well, he hasn't really covered his flanks that well. So if the drop moves like around the corners of the map, then I don't think he will spot it very soon.
Yeah, but most Terrans will send the medevac a little bit to the around the corners, but not exactly really like to the corners of every map because it will take so long.
Right.
Odin is making a planetary fortress right now at his natural.
And another command center.
Yeah, off his command center. It's making a planetary fortress.
No, wait, he's making another new command center.
As well? Wow.
Yeah.
He really likes his command centers, man.
Exactly. He wants to crush his opponent with command centers.
Make 2 command centers, man. It's incredible. He already has like 6.
He's making 3 command centers.
Wow. That's unbelievable. He's like, well, I can't have enough command centers available. You know, it's always nice that you can build them into orbitals and have mules, or you can build them into planetary fortresses and have a lot of defense. And that's true, of course. But I think as soon as Darkomicron is already going to Colossus right now, and the Colossus are absolutely they're gonna destroy all the planetary fortresses because of their extended thermal lance range.
But still, it definitely slows any push down, and of course the tanks have a range at least that of the Colossi. So as the Colossi are shooting the planetary fortress, they're in range of the tanks.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
It's a pretty solid wall. I don't recall having seen this much static defense or static. Well, yeah. I've never seen this much static defense with the turrets and the planetary fortresses on Daybreak like this in the Choke of the Terran. But all of this defense is not helping him secure his third base, and he's trying to do that. But all he has for defense are 3 Widow Mines, so this is kind of meager compared to what he has defending his natural.
Yeah, but he'll probably move some tanks over. Yeah, as we can see, he's already moving over a little force, a little bio squad with a tank and some extra Widow Mines. Yeah, I think Odin is playing really defensively, and he's not even trying to do any kind of damage or have any kind of control over what Darkomicron does. Darkomicron could take like 3 or 4 bases right now, and there's nothing that Odin could do about it. He's actually taking his 4th right now, and I'm really wondering what Darkomicron has planned, because he can go up to a lot of Colossus. He's already researched Storm. Yep. But I think maybe the best choice would be to go for something like a lot of Stargates and pump out a lot of Void Rays like right now, because that would really do a lot of damage against all these units.
Well, there's a lot of static defense, including a lot of missile turrets. Look at the amount of missile turrets and Widow Mines at the 3rd base right now. And Darkomicron has a lot of Zealots, actually. If you look at the unit stat, because 17 Zealots, now 6 Templar coming out. You might throw in some Archons in the near future, I'm not sure. But so far, like you said, Darkomicron gets all the time in the world to build up whatever army he wants and whatever composition he wants. And he's actually working on Gravitic Drive. This makes your Warp Prisms move faster, so this actually indicates that Darkomicron might want to try and use some of these Warp Prisms. So we might get to see some harassment.
Yeah, but where does this Warp Prism go? Because there's missile turrets all over the place. I wonder if it's gonna go inside. Perhaps with the speed upgrade, it's gonna be able to dodge a missile turret, but I don't know, man.
Alright, so Darkomicron's moving his Warp Prism into position and at the same time moving out with his army. He probably wants to use the confusion on multiple fronts to take Odin by surprise. Try and do some damage.
Already has a great proxy pylon at the 3rd base location of...
The pylon actually spots all the activity down there.
Yeah, all the missile turrets.
And another command center. Yeah, Odin is definitely going all-out Terran with all this, settling in, turtling, making planetary fortresses everywhere.
Making bases in this base.
Oh, the Vikings up ahead, of course.
Oh, the Colossus are a little bit behind there, actually.
All of the units, all of the Darkomicron's units streamed in like one by one. All of the Zealots get ahead and get eliminated pretty fast. Yeah. So that was basically a loss for Darko. But those storms are very nice. Taking lots of damage on the bio, and nearly taking the Vikings down as well. So this was a blow. Oh, but we're missing a drop in the main base. Darko doing lots of damage, taking out missile turrets, refineries, and some landed Vikings actually fighting Zealots.
Odin has hardly any forces in the top of his base right now, so how is he gonna deal with this? I mean, there's a few Marines and there's a planetary fortress, but the planetary fortress can't do anything.
And at the same time, there's another push at the 3rd base.
Yeah, this is gonna do a lot of damage, but he's gotta be careful with his Widow Mines. Does he have an observer right here? I don't think so. His Widow Mines are gonna go off.
Dark Shrine coming up in the mean. There goes one missile Widow Mine and another one. These mines are doing lots of damage actually.
Yeah, they're doing lots of damage, and if he stays here too long, I mean, this Widow Mine's gonna do more damage even. I don't think this planetary fortress is gonna go down, and he's gotta wait. Even more hits from the Widow Mines.
Okay,
in the meantime, the force of the drop force is cleaned up as well.
Yeah.
But Odin took a lot of damage, I think.
He did, but yeah, I definitely think Darko came out ahead there. No, the thing is, he's the only player that's actually aggressive. So there's, if you want to win in StarCraft, you have to eliminate your opponent. And if you can force your opponent to stay in his bases, what Odin is doing now, so what Darko is forcing Odin to do, then that definitely gives you the upper hand. And so far we see that all the damage is being done on Odin's side. This by no means signifies that he's out or that he's lost. But he's definitely not in an advantageous position.
And he has so much money in the bank as well. I think he could make like he could make like 10 new command centers with his money. Oh, he's actually gonna do so as well.
Yeah. Well, you see what they do. They slow down pushes tremendously. And there's an observer overhead and Colossi sniping Widow mines now. This observer dangerously close to the forces of Odin.
But there are no missile turrets anymore, so...
No missile, that's right. But one scan and this thing's done. There's actually only a few Marines down here, only 7. Here we go, another push with some Colossi only taking taking some hull damage. These tanks actually had a mean punch. You got 2 weapon upgrade right now. Do we see more upgrades coming along for the mech? No upgrades currently at the army. Oh, 1, there we go. Ah, so vehicle weapons level 3 coming up.
Yeah.
So Odin focusing a bit on that mech.
He is indeed, and if Darkomicron would just move right to the natural, I think I could actually take this out and put...
Oh, he's pushing right where he shouldn't be pushing. Okay.
Yeah, indeed. He knows his force is here, so I don't know why he just doesn't move around it. I mean, he could do a lot of damage. I mean, sure, the Splinter Fortress is here, but this army is not going to be back in time to defend.
That's true, but yeah, you don't want to be throwing away Zealots against Splinter Fortress. There is a fleet beacon finishing up right now. So we might see Mothership or...
Carriers, maybe.
Carriers, or Tempests, of course. There we go, 2 Tempests on the way.
Tempest indeed is the choice of attack. And it's a really good choice because these Tempests are going to be able to fire from a long distance, even further than the tanks can shoot. So they're going to be able to take everything out if he can just like have a big force of Tempest right now. But actually Odin is moving across the map right now. He's trying to establish his 4th base. Wow, that's a great storm.
Nearly taken out 3 Widow mines.
Indeed he did. So he's gonna try to take this 4th base. And this is a really good position for Terran because they can just turtle up here in the center and have a defense of both the natural and the 3rd base. So it's gonna be really hard for Darkomicron to move into this.
Definitely, but at the same time he's taking his 6th base, so I'm not sure if he really cares. And like you said, the Tempests are on the way, and they are like a game breaker because they force the Terran to move out. They can't just sit there and take all the shots continuously. You can try and do it for a while, but as the Tempests build up, you really have to take action, and that forces you in an unfavorable position, allowing the Protoss to take advantage of it.
Well, the advantage that Odin has is that he has already quite a large Viking fleet, and is making more.
These Vikings are posturing against the Tempest, and they might actually take some of the Tempests out, but there's a storm! Storm warding away the Vikings. Of course, the Vikings are quite vulnerable to storms. You don't want to have them flying into them.
Indeed. So, well, while we might see a little bit of a stalemate, I really wonder what Darkomicron is gonna do. If he's got enough Tempest, maybe he can try to do a little bit of pushing, but these Vikings are gonna be really essential in holding this off for Odin.
Yeah, Darko is supply block right now, so if he wants to change anything in his army composition, he'll have to actually sacrifice or use some units to the point where they die. And yeah, we see the Tempest in action right now. A Marine actually died from it, so that's pretty significant.
Indeed he is. He could try to get an observer there so the Tempest can shoot even further, because they can shoot further than they can see.
I think he does have one. I think he's an Overlord hanging around in that cubicle little... oh, he put the Zealot forward to have some more vision, I think.
Yeah, I think maybe might be true. The Zealot's taking on.
This little black hole used to be a Zealot, people. Alright, is there something going on? No, okay. We haven't seen any drops from Odin so far. Of course, if you don't have much bio, which he doesn't.
No, indeed.
Yeah, there's not much to drop.
Oh, that was a very...
Storm.
That storm might have done a lot of damage. But in the meantime, Odin is getting the opportunity to build a lot of Thors and a lot of Vikings, which are going to be really good against these Tempests. So yeah, maybe Darkomicron might want to switch around a little bit, do some counterattacks. Some Zealots could do a lot of damage if there are enough, or maybe even sort of Dark Templar. Oh, there's a big push out right now.
This
big
is
center.
Lots of action going on. Jesus, look at the amount of damage output of the Protoss army. These storms going on in the tanks. I think might be it for Odin. There's so much damage still left for Darko.
There is, and then these Vikings are not doing anything right now. They should be definitely targeting these Colossus and the Tempests. Now getting into the action, and there's nothing that Darkomicron can do against all these Vikings. warping in stalkers right now. So it looks like Odin has helped this position for in the meantime, and he still has a lot of money in the bank, but he doesn't have a lot of gas because all these units that he's building are very gas intensive, especially the Thors and the tanks. So
there's another observer moving forward. Still lots of observers. Of course, they also have the speed upgrade now at this point in the game. And I think this could be. This might just be the final push. These Vikings are all so low on health that the Tempest can take them out with a single shot, basically.
Indeed, there are really a lot of Tempests right now. There are 5, and there's 2 more in production. Void Rays as well getting into the fight. And the Void Rays are gonna be great against the Thors and the siege tanks.
But look at how damaged the mech army from Odin is. So look at the color bars there. There we go, and some sniping from Tempest also doesn't really help. Oh, it looked like a Thor popped up out of thin air there. I thought it was a hallucination. Probably not right.
Do you see the Thors are now in a different mode? They have
so they're in air firing mode.
Yeah, instead of doing splash damage, they now do a lot more damage per shot, but no splash.
Single target. Oh, another observer gets taken out. I'm missing the Viking battle. Vikings sweeped in, maybe took some of the air units out, but now they're fighting against Void Rays, and seeing as how they're so low on health, I don't think they should be doing this. Of course, one Void Ray goes down, and they're hovering over a missile turret, so all of the air units actually get taken out, except for this huge pile of Tempests over here. So I think that Odin is definitely having a hard time with this game.
Indeed, also these extra Void Rays are coming in, they're shooting the Thors down so quickly. And this is gonna be really hard, but he's pushing it back right now, so maybe he can hold on for a little longer.
Thor's pretty good against air units, especially if they're massive, I guess. Do they do extra damage against massive?
I
guess so, right?
I don't think so.
Targets. No, it doesn't do extra damage against massive.
But in a special mode, it does do a lot more damage against single targets. So it's really good that he uses this on the Tempest right now. But
DTs.
I do think in the long run that Darkomicron is going to be able to break him.
We saw some DTs hacking away at a planetary fortress, but now they're fighting against missile turrets while under siege tank fire. That's not a good way to go as a Dark Templar.
Indeed, it isn't.
Of course, this Protoss air fleet, the Golden Armada, doesn't agree with those missile turrets being there and taking action. Oh, you don't want to go up there, little fire bats.
This is a great spot for the Protoss army to be, because he can watch over the cliff, and that's really, really good.
Yeah, man. The Terran army is in disarray. It's just moving up and down, not knowing what to do, and supply is dropping rapidly for Odin. And I think, yeah, this is good. There we go. This is GG. Ooh, that was a pretty passive game, but there was a lot of posturing going on, which made it pretty interesting to watch.
Indeed, it was very interesting because Darkomicron was looking for the right moment to have the big engagement, and this moment, this position here in the bottom was his moment to be able to do a lot of damage with all these Tempests.
All right, Albert, wave goodbye to the audience for now. We'll be back with game number 2 in a moment. Stay tuned.
Indeed.